you have such a following, not too large. At that time, I got to like maybe 20,000 followers at the end of the 4 months or so, my little run with Legendary, but I had a really strong community. And a lot of people think you have to have a large following to be successful with affiliate marketing, but I beg to differ. I have affiliates now because I have an affiliate program with over 1,000 affiliates. And I have affiliates now that have 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers, some 10, and they're making $10,000 per month every single month consistently. My mentor told me if you can't get something to organically get traction or get people to comment on it, it will not, absolutely not convert with ads. So we teach organic way. I'm in ads now after the fact. I made a full $1 million or 100% organically. Not one paid ad went out when I made $1 million.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Entrepreneurial Odyssey, where we tell stories of the entrepreneurial journey and how they have grown in their journey and some of the obstacles that they face. We all talk about some of the innovations and strengths, weaknesses, so many good things we're talking about. And today we have Eric Forner, who is a coach when it comes to helping people learn how to take even a small audience and turn it into a six-figure income. So I'm so excited to have you here, Eric. This is like right up my alley. I love this stuff.
Absolutely, brother. It's nice to have you, Rob, or nice to be on your show. And I truly appreciate, the invite to, spread the value, spread the news, and just help people scale whatever it is they want to scale.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I'm looking at the Two Comma Club Award behind you. That's fantastic to see that, fellow ClickFunnels
Yeah.
person.
Yes, sir.
So let's see. Let's start with just kind of tell me a little bit about your business that you're running right now and what it is that you're doing currently.
So, in a nutshell, I teach aspiring entrepreneurs on how to build long-term sustainable businesses online without having tech skills or prior experience by following a simple automated system. And so, in a nutshell, that pretty much talks about exactly what I do and who I help. I do have several offers, depending on their level of expertise. It could be from a beginner, not even know how to copy and paste per se, or even built their first TikTok to working with more B2B individuals in my inner circle. So it's a full spectrum of digital marketing, story selling, story branding, and automation to help somebody launch and scale an online business with, as you said, a small following.
Anyway, um, yeah, I love that because that suits so many people I think right now who are out there trying to grow, trying to build a business, make a good income, and there are a lot of people in the ClickFunnels community, which is what that Two Comma Club Award back there is from. So this is going to be a great episode. I can just feel it already. How much
100%.
how much we're going to get out of this, but let's go back a little bit and talk about. What are some of the businesses maybe you started in the past that didn't work so well? And then we kind of talk about how you went from that to where you are now.
Absolutely. So, um, long story short, I started with MLMs. I was working construction, putting in 60 plus hours a week. At the time, I was working with a lineman crew, hanging fiber optics, Cat 7 and Cat 5 as well. And I was just like wanting I wanted something different. I wanted to make a little bit extra money a month or whatever it was. I wasn't really thinking about quitting my job. So I came across Cutco Knives, which is, they have phenomenal knives. The company, the company is it's a pretty good company.
Yeah.
Vector is the ones that own it. So, anyways, I jumped into Cutco Knives, my first time trying to promote or sell anything online, and I reached out to all my friends, all my family. I made around 7K. But once that ended, I didn't have any referrals to keep it, keep repeating the process. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I made good money. So I jumped into something called Euphoria Science, which was another MLM, and they formulate vitamins based off your variances of your DNA. So they'll do a
Wow.
swab, send it into the lab, and then they take the variances from your mom and dad, and whatever you're missing in the middle, that's how they formulate the vitamin for you. So once again, I sold to the exact same friends, the exact same family, and once that ended, it was kind of it just petered out. I just didn't have that intent, the belief in what I was doing. Not only that, you had to take 10 pills at a time, which was like a whole mess of pills just to get your daily amount of vitamins that you need. Regardless, I was like, I had to figure something out. But during that process, of trying to figure out MLMs, I was in the rabbit hole of Google and YouTube on YouTube and all these different places trying to find, what else is going to be next? What can actually fit my needs? And I was the type of person that thought I could do everything alone. But one day I was sitting on my couch and I came across digital marketing or affiliate marketing. But in between then, as I was making this money with MLM, I invested into crypto. I done some Forex trading. I done some trying to do drop shipping, all of these crazy things. I have a portfolio with a little bit of crypto in it, but I never really understood, the margins and the candlesticks and however it works, right? The bull runs or whatever it is. And I was just basically just putting money into an account and make nothing of it. But I did find, opportunity with affiliate marketing, which was what gave me my start. And that's kind of like where it all started from.
Yeah, affiliate marketing is one of those. I think it's if people really understood the power behind affiliate marketing, they'd be doing more of it. And I remember, when I was looking at some of the affiliate marketing from the end of, hey, I can sell other people's products and I can make money. But I ran into the same problem. That is, if you don't have a good following, you don't have anybody to, sell those affiliate marketing products to. But then I also found the power in the fact that, wow, if I have 100 people out there, or 1,000 people out there selling my product, maybe they only have a few people on their list. But even if they only have 15 people on their list, but I have 1,000 affiliates, that's 15,000 people now that can drive traffic to my site, sell my product. So being someone who uses affiliate marketing to sell their product is way more powerful than, at least in my mind, than trying to just sell other people's products through affiliate, especially if you don't have an audience.
Right. So, I kind of want to talk about that as well. I had that same belief on you have to have a large following of people to sell your affiliate products. The other word I have back there is from Legendary Marketer. You might have heard of them. I jumped into that program and I had no following, no tech skills, pretty much whatsoever. And I did not buy their blueprints. What I did was I bypassed the $2,500 upsell. I went down the struggle lane a little bit more, but then I found a mentor who taught me how to really connect with my audience and not just talk about the features, but mostly talk about the benefits of what the outcome or the desired outcome could be. So I learned how to target people's pain points, and the pain points is I want more time with my family. I want to make a little extra money, go on vacations. Not really particularly thinking about quitting their job. So when I first started out, I had a very small following. I ended up going live on TikTok. I gained like maybe 5,000 followers total at the end of I'll say 45 days. But within 20 days, I made $19,558 because of my mentor's method. And that was knowing how to connect with your audience, the pain points, and the desired outcome, and knowing exactly what they're thinking before they even say it on how they feel. Because people buy on emotion. And I learned this early on from my mentor, and they didn't teach us in Legendary. They don't teach us in a lot of different places. I've also had Dan Henry as my mentor and, all these different things. And a lot of people think you have to have a large following to be successful with affiliate marketing, but I beg to differ. I have affiliates now because I have an affiliate program with over 1,000 affiliates. And I have affiliates now that have 5,000 followers, 6,000 followers, some 10, and they're making $10,000 per month every single month consistently. And now what I done was I made it a little bit juicier for people, and I made a program to where you have monthly reoccurring payments. So you have a continuity program inside of every one of my offers. So I have now a membership program to accommodate, because Russell said at his last ClickFunnels event, if you don't have continuity, you don't have a business, right? Because you start at the beginning of every single month at zero. Well, I reframe that, put it into my practice of what I do, and I'm teaching individuals with, building that belief first and foremost. You don't have to have a large following. You don't have to be pretty. You just have to know how to talk to people and trigger those pain points, because people buy on emotion. And if you can connect with them emotionally, you can sell any product or service that's out there. And if they don't have the money, you'll make it so desirable, they'll go find it. Because if somebody wants something bad enough, they will get it.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the old adage before, they always buy on emotion, and then they uh, use their like logic to say
Exactly.
why they should have bought that, even though they really are buying on emotion.
100%, 100%. So now I have a pretty large following now. I have several different TikTok accounts that 10,000, 12,000 followers on it, and all these different things, and a really ramped up community. But at the end of the day, it deters people when number one, when people say it's easy to, become an affiliate marketer, because this is not easy, making an online business. It's easy if you take action and implement daily. But at the end of the day, I just want to let everybody know out there, you do not have to have a large following. From what my experience has been and the way and the methods that I teach, it's almost like night and day.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about like your journey from zero to two comma club. And I know that's that might be kind of a long story, but we've got time. Tell us how
Yeah,
you
for
went
sure.
from nothing to two comma club, and maybe even explain what a two comma club is, so we understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the two comma club is when you make $1 million in your business, right? Or $1 million in sales using one funnel, one system, one product, one solution. And that's from ClickFunnels, which is the CEO of that is Russell Brunson. And he's like the originator, the godfather pretty much of funnels and, that type of, direction. But anyways, the million came not at easy, but not hard. It took me 24 months to hit $1 million. I've been doing this a little over 3.5 years now, and my journey pretty much started from legendary marketer when I'd seen an ad on Facebook, and they're like, "Hey, you can make $10,000 a month. It's easy." I'm sure you've seen those posts, and I was like, "Yes, I could do that." And when I jumped into it, it was not as easy as I thought. But the journey typically, it really started when I first started with the MLM and really trying to plug away at that, sold to friends and family. I knew it was possible to make that type of, make decent money, even quit my job. So when I really first found my epiphany moment is when I met my mentor, Brad Schildkraut, and he actually had passed away almost about a year and a half ago now on an overdose of fentanyl. He was a seven-figure earner. He was just a really down-to-earth guy, 26 years old, and nobody knew he had a problem with addiction. And I come from a background of like addiction, addictive behaviors. Went to prison 6 times or 5 times with 6 DUIs. The second DUI I got in Idaho, actually. They sent me to a boot camp, is pretty much what it was, a DUI camp. But ever since then, it's just been this trickling effect of me getting in trouble. And at the age of 38, I'm like, you know what? I got to figure something out. This is not working. I don't want to do construction no more. And I built the studio that I'm sitting in right now from the ground up with my hands because I know framing, I know finished carpentry, flooring, and all those different things I've done my whole life. And so I just not want to do that no more. I like building stuff for myself, but for somebody else making them rich, I didn't like that idea. And I had a lot more potential to do something for myself and not have to punch a clock. And so, I had all the haters. I lost family members, lost friends, and it's okay though because you're going to be the average of the 5 people you hang around with, right? And my dad always used to tell me, if you wonder where you're going to be at in 5 years, just look at your friends. And so I really started analyzing what I was doing, my behaviors, and all those different things. I jumped into an opportunity. I went live on TikTok. My mentor told me, go live on TikTok for 30 days straight and you pretty much almost guarantee me I'll make at least 10,000. Well, I went live on TikTok for 30 days straight and I made over $20,000. And that was because I started telling my authentic story, who I was and what I wanted to be known for. Right? I had a standpoint. I had conviction in my heart, in my words, and I truly wanted to help people. He told me from early on, the more people you help, the more money you'll make. It sounds kind of greedy, but at the end of the day, it's a win-win. As long as you can structure your business for both parties having a win-win, the customer and yourself, then you will have a growing business that's going to be long-term and sustainable, right? So I was more people over profit. And I notice a lot of people in the industry, I know a lot of people personally that are more profit over people. They'd rather make that money and then not worry too much about their community or, the growth of the individual on the other end. But either way, it all pretty much started when I got the opportunity from Legendary Marketer. Not a bad company. It's just the way they teach is copy and paste, find viral content, copy it word for word, and repost it. Right? It works for some, but most it does not. There's about a 2% success rate in the industry. Now, when you see those posts, the average salary for a digital marketer, affiliate marketer is $198,000 a year. Well, they're not considering that it's 2% will actually make that much money. Well, either way, I was able to tell my story. I was authentic. I showed up every single day, and I started building my own personal brand. I talked to the individual as a human and answered questions. So that's really where the ball, really started rolling. And I finally really figured out after making about 40,000 with Legendary Marketer in 3 months, I was like, this is not for me because everybody I was selling the blueprints to, which was a $2,500 offer, and I made $1,000 commission off it. all of those individuals would come back to me for help after they just bought into a program. And I was seeing a lack of accountability. I seen a lack of a community aspect. It would take them 2 or 3 days to even get their questions answered. They post in the Facebook group. And since they have such a large community, I don't know if they have people to fulfill, the questions or not, but I would go live on TikTok, like I said, for, it was actually 60 days straight. My whole motto was I'm going to go live for 30 days. And then when I hit 30 days, I was still going live for 30 days straight. That's what I said every day. And anyways, all those individuals, $40,000 worth of people, so about 400 people, whatever it comes out to be, comes back to me and they're like, Eric, I'm not having success. My business advisor's not talking to me. And I would literally set appointments for free on my calendar. So one month I had over 290 different appointments from TikTok alone, from people I've already helped and people that were aspiring to become an entrepreneur online. And I started to really build out my method. It's called the GOAT method. And so my mentor said, look, you have something so powerful right now. You have such a following, not too large. At that time I got to like maybe 20,000 followers at the end of the 4 months or so, my little run with Legendary, but I had a really strong community. Like they would go to bat for me. If somebody would, it might be my live and start, heckling me and, poking at me, I wouldn't have to say nothing. I would just sit back, cross my hands or cross my arms, and I would have all my followers just like batter these people, like, you know what you're talking about, get out of here, whatever. They would just go to my bat and go to, the forefront. And I just built this community of like-minded individuals that truly understood and truly believed everything that came out of my mouth. And so that's when I created my very first cohort. And in my cohort, I was targeting legendary marketer affiliates. And the reason why is because I seen so much struggle and I wanted to teach my method on a larger scale. And in order to get on the Wake Up Show with Dave Sharp, I'm not sure you've heard of it, but it's a daily show. If anybody hits a high ticket sale, they'll get on that show. Well, I got 15 people into my 4-week cohort, and by the end of the 4 weeks, I had 9 people go on that wake up show because they got their first high ticket sale because of my method. Small following, large following, doesn't matter. I taught them how to story tell and story sell, be authentic, and hit those pain points. So that's where the journey truly started to ascend up. Now, did I have struggle during that process? Yes. Did I tear up vision boards? Absolutely. I started to feel like an imposter, a counterfeit. I couldn't keep up.
Yep.
My mentor was there in my corner the whole entire time. And at the end of the day, I ended up creating my first cohort, my second cohort, and I got all of the information and data from those two. What problems and pain points were I missing out of that training, that course? And I just kept taking what people were telling me, and I would put out questionnaires and I put out surveys. What are you struggling with? What can make this program better? All these different things. And I took that in account, and I made something called the Passive Income Blueprints Roadmap to Success.
Wow, that's awesome. So when we're talking about cohort, we're talking about a community, like a group. Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah,
Or
so a cohort is just like a kind of like a crash course. It had a desired outcome at that time. My selling proposition was get on the wake up show within 4 weeks,
Mhm.
guaranteed. Right? I shouldn't have said a
Yeah,
guarantee. It's more about certainty now than guarantees. But
right.
it was in my marketing message. Get on the wake up show, guaranteed within 4 weeks. If you haven't gone there yet, I signed up. I think it was like a total of 30. 15 showed up consistently, and I say 9 took action 100%. And those 9 actually jumped in it. So it's basically just a 4 week or a 6 week kind of program where I would
Hmm.
go live weekly. I gave them a course and then had a slide deck. And at the end of each day of the cohort, I would give them a homework assignment. So maybe who is your avatar? What's your DMS, your direct marketing statement? Just different things like that. And the mindset shifts, and, provided books and information on how to better themselves, not just a routine, but a daily schedule on what to do inside their businesses. So it's just a 4 week or 6 week little crash course training thing just to get enough value and information to build my next program so I could make that as best as possible. And what's crazy is I sold 30 people at $500 with having no program built, no cohort built, just a marketing message, a banner. Because my mentor taught me sell it before you build it. You don't want to build something taking 6 months to build it out and then it just falls flat on its face, right? So if you have a message that resonates with individuals, an opportunity that they want to achieve a desired outcome with, people buy into it. Now it puts your back against the wall to let's start building, right? And so I collected all that money. I had a cash injection of money, paid a couple more one-on-ones with my mentor, and that just kept ascending and scaling up from there.
Well, so when they come to you and they say, "Hey, I want to do what you're doing, but I don't really have a product or package," what's the first thing you do to help them create that?
Well, here's the thing. Now with beginners, a lot of people won't get started at all because they don't have that niche or that product that they want to do, and they think they have to do that for the rest of their life. So when a person comes to me, they have no product, they have no idea. It's not my job to determine what that person's going to promote, right? So what I do is I have my own offer. I'm a digital marketing coach, and I have an affiliate program. So it's done for you and it's done with you. It's a fully built funnels, fully built emails, fully built everything, and it comes with customer support and also community. So when a person's a brand new beginner, I just want them to get their beak wet. That's it. Understand marketing, understand how to create a piece of content on TikTok, understand how to resonate with your audience, and go through that process. Make $10,000 with passive income blueprints, and at the end of that 3, 6, or even 9 months, you're going to make a substantial amount of money. But now you have a lot more foundation to run off of. You understand automation, you understand follow up, you understand emails, you understand copywriting for the most part. You understand you can take this business model and this strategy and method that I'm teaching you, promoting a product that's proven to convert and proven to get results. Take that, use that as your stepping stone, and then we can talk about whatever direction you want to take. I'll get on a call with you, talk about my inner circle. Now, if you have an idea, because doors open. Once you start making money, you have having conversations. Content and conversations are the two things that a person needs if they want to have a successful business when they first start out. Create the content and go out and create conversations. That's it. You don't even have to have automation behind it. So
Yeah.
once you learn that strategy and you have that in place, it builds the belief, it builds the confidence, understanding that you can take the strategies that I just taught you by leveraging, yeah, my course. But my whole goal is not for a person to ride my coattails and sell my program forever. My goal is at the end of 6 months, 9 months, even a year, is to actually have that confidence and that knowledge. And as you're doing this process, going into social media and having conversations, doors will start flying open. Ideas will inspire. And so that's my goal is by the end of that 12 months, which I have 30 clients now or 30 students that went through my program, and now they're course creators. They do funnel building. They do whatever they found that they are able to do and they like to do. Now I put that in front of them and they flew the coop. And some are making 5K a month, some are making even $100,000 a month as we speak right now because they started with something simple.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, I can come to you and I can say, hey, I want to grow a business. I don't really know. I don't have my own program right now, but you have something that you could give to me that I could then promote. And the other thing that I love about what you're saying is connecting with the audience, connecting with the audience. I think that the miscommunication or the misnomer or whatever you want to call it is that people feel like, hey, I get this funnel system, something like what you're selling,
Mhm.
and I put it up there and I put a couple of Facebook ads up and boom, I'm going to make a bunch of money. And what you're talking about is you've got to connect with your audience. Get on TikTok, go live, talk to people, network with people, get to know people. And I think that's the missing link that a lot of people who are doing these kind of um, business in a box things are missing is that it
100%.
does take interaction with people. I can't just put up a couple Facebook ads, do a couple pre-programmed TikTok videos, and next thing you know, I'm a millionaire. It's a people business no matter what you're doing.
100%. And that's the one thing I did not do is jump into ads right away. My mentor told me if you can't get something to organically get traction or get people to comment on it, it will not, absolutely not convert with ads. And that's a big problem that companies, I don't want to say all their names, but there's one company in particular that's their whole strategy is get people in not knowing anything about copywriting, anything about targeting the pain points or anything, and have them go directly and create ads, put them on Facebook, and they just lose a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of frustration. So we teach an organic way. I'm in ads now after the fact. I made a full $1 million or 100% organically. Not one paid ad went out when I made a million, right?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
teach that organic method so you actually have those conversations because if we teach people just ads from the beginning, they're not have to worry about conversations. They're not have to worry about connecting with their audience or the problems and pain points and desired outcome. So we teach them organic methods first, let them get traction, understand what's resonating with their audience to where they're getting conversations started, to where people are clicking on their link or asking for more information. Once we get that dialed in and that marketing message is dialed in, the buyer's journey's understood, when they come in from a cold lead to a raging fan, we understand that process. Now we have something called UpHex in our system in my own, because I have my own software for my funnel building. Now it makes Facebook and Google ads a snap to actually launch. It does it pretty much for you. It's an AI tool that helps you with building the creative, building the copy, and it also does the targeting for you. And it's so much simpler than actually going into Meta and working in the ads manager of Facebook. So
Yeah.
I have a pretty good little handle on that now.
Yeah. No, I love that because I feel like that is the missing link on a lot of these is you really have
Yes,
to
it is.
get out there, talk to people. Now, let's say you're talking to a very introverted person who's listening and says, I just don't want to get on Facebook. I don't or live. I don't want to do videos. There's a couple solutions for them, I'm guessing. And one is either A, got to get out of the box, or B, partner with someone that's more extroverted.
100%.
What do you recommend?
You're dialed in right there. And believe it or not, people think I'm an extrovert. I'm an introvert. Like I don't like going to parties. I don't like being around big crowds. I don't like, I don't like to talk to people per se, just to start up a conversation unless it's about business. I'm like truly, I have no friends around where I live. I live in a town of 2,500 people. I just work on my business and I attend to what I'm like really intrigued on doing. And so, like you nailed it. Get out of the box, build that, get out of your own your own crap because people say they have a fear of talking to somebody. It's not a fear. It has to be a clear and present danger. It's an anxiety,
Hmm.
right? So
Yep.
unless if I hit a golf ball and it went into this pond and I went to go get it and all of a sudden an alligator rose up and had a golf ball in his mouth, that's I have a fear of grabbing that golf ball. There's no anxiety there. But if
Right.
I'm thinking about it, premeditating on how I'm going to act or if I'm going to sound stupid, if I'm have a conversation in the future, that's an anxiety because it has not happened yet. There's no clear and present danger. So if you
Right.
explain stuff to people like that and work with them, they will come out of their comfort zone. I've had so many people, Onyx Singal. Do you know who he is?
Who is it?
Onyx Singal.
No, don't know the
He's
name.
made 60, 70 million in the space, but that guy, I went to one of his marketing events for a 4-day event
Mm,
in Baltimore, Maryland. He has something called the Learn Center, and he's talking about how he's an introvert, and people are like, "No, wait." At the end of the day, you'll see all these introverts that come out of their shell and they just speak on what needs to be spoken on. But
mhm,
it's either find somebody like you said that can partner up with you, that's going to be the voice or the creative character of your opportunity, and let
mhm,
them do all of the live calls, the communication. You could be the back end tech guy, or the one that writes the emails, or maybe customer service or something. But if you want something that's long term and sustainable, we have to learn. You don't have to be a professional at everything. I'm not good at everything. Like I'm not really that great at tech. I could build a funnel. That's why I hired a tech guy. I'm not good at copywriting, so that's why I have a copywriter. But what I'm good at is going on the big stage. And I'm good at now. I'm just opening up, and I'm able to connect with people through story, and I can relate with people and connect with them. So to answer your question, you nailed it, 100%. Either crap or get off the pot, pretty much, or you just find somebody that is a little bit more extroverted than you.
mhm.
But if you want something that's long term, because you can't depend and put all your eggs in one basket. Get
Right.
good, get okay with everything that's needed in the business, and then once you get okay with it, and you can teach somebody else or hire somebody else in. So because that person left, then what's going to happen to the voice of the company? The company's just going to plummet, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So just crap or get off the pot at the end of the day.
Yeah. And that's where affiliates can come in handy too, because a lot of those
Yep,
affiliates are the extroverted people who go out and sell your product, and you can have more than
indeed,
one.
100%.
Uh, yeah, I think that's really good. So tell me a little bit about how some of your past experiences really motivated you to become more successful and put in the effort that it really takes to grow.
Yeah. So my why. Have you heard of the 7 levels of why? Right.
Yep.
So
Yep.
my first why was I just want to make more money. Well, why? So I can provide for my family. Well, why? Because I didn't have much when I was growing up. Well, why? Because my dad was a blue collar worker and he spent all his time at work and he was an alcoholic and my stepmom beat me. Well, why do you want to change the situation? Because I want better for my, whatever it is. So I
Right.
go back and I look at all the turmoil and the hate and discontent that I kind of caused. Not intentionally trying to hurt people, but when I would go to work and then I wouldn't come home because I was in jail, then my wife's crying, my kids are crying, like my family's again disappointed in me and all these things, and then I'm wanting them to come put money on my books and send me packages or whatever it is. I put people through so much, and I've taken so much in my life. Even though I worked, I pay my bills, but I've taken so much in my life. Today, I want to give back. And that's what my business model is built on, is just giving back, right? People before profit. And I want to help as many people before I leave this earth to give them an opportunity to come out of their shells or to be a better version of themselves. It doesn't matter if it's mindset, if it's working out, because I love to work out religiously, do that. I work on my mindset. I work on my self-help, my self-care, and I want to help somebody that may be struggling with whatever it is that they're struggling with. And I want to see those the light bulbs go off, the epiphany moments. That's what truly excites me. Like when I sit down in my 5-day business builder challenge and I'm super energetic, because this is nothing. My energy is high now. You should see me in a challenge,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's great. And I have people just get emotional and they're just like, they're by the end of the challenge, they feel like they could take on the world. And that's how
Right.
it is. And so that excites me. Just seeing somebody that has, that's not afraid to look at the camera or whatever, they put their head down when they talk to where they're like talking to you and they're coming from the heart. And that's what excites me. That's what keeps motivating me and moving forward. I never expected myself to be in the position I'm in now to motivate, coach, inspire individuals. I thought I was just going to be an affiliate marketer and make that extra, $1,000 a month or whatever it was. But it molded into what it is today because I've seen so much struggle in the industry and a lot of gurus out there. They leave a lot of things out.
Mhm.
I've paid more than $100,000 in courses and programs, not just to learn from them, but to see what's in them. My direct competitors. I own every course out there of my direct competitor, right?
Right.
And I go in there and I find out what the pain points are. I go look at the reviews and I see what they're struggling with, what their complaints are. And what I do is I make my program better based off of the conversations that their clients have because it's not what we want to sell or what we want to learn. It's not what we want to teach. It's what they want to learn.
Right.
And if they struggle in the community, they're not getting help, or they wish they had this module in there, or whatever it is. That's the kind of direction I've taken it, and it's more about helping people because the more you help, the more you make.
Yeah. And you look at the some of the richest people around in the world, and whether you like it or not, they're serving more people. That's how you make money
100%.
is you have to serve the people.
Yes, yes, it will come and just serve the people. Be that authentic, transparent individual. It doesn't matter what you sell or promote. You learn the right strategies of sales and persuasion, right? Using a little P&L
Hmm.
and all these different things. It's all going to come into factor. It's all going to come into focus. It doesn't matter if you're selling cars, if you're selling combs. It doesn't matter. Beard care, who cares?
Hmm.
If you know how to hit trigger points and the desired outcome, anything's possible.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your um, program as far as what are some of the fundamentals that, and we've talked a lot about it, but I'd like to take a minute just kind of put a point on what are some of the fundamental things that you teach that people need to get a grasp on, kind of one by one, maybe your top 5 or top 10 things so that they can be successful in your program and in making their own way, making uh, their own million.
Yeah. So I think the biggest gold nugget I can give to somebody, if you're jumping into a course or if you're jumping into a coaching program or whatever it is, doesn't matter what it's for. It could be for bookkeeping or, helping people relieve debt, personal training, whatever the course is. As you're going through the course, don't just fly through the course and, move to the next one just to get to the bottom because it's not a freaking race. It's not. What a lot of people struggle with is retaining the information that they're learning. So if I learned something today and I didn't go implement it right away, within 24 hours, I'm going to lose 90% of what I just went through. Right.
Right.
So my biggest thing to help people find the success as fast as possible, because again, all results are not typical. It is not easy, but it's very, very doable. And I teach my students when you go into module number 1, talking about mindset, about building the belief, talking about a schedule, the value to spare. As I'm having them go through that course, they're immediately going to learn something. If a light bulb went off, I have them take notes and they immediately go and teach it to somebody else. Learn it and teach it. Learn it and teach it the whole way through. That's how I was taught in this business is if,
Mm.
I would get on a mastermind, I would ask a question. I'll be the first one to raise my hand because I was going through the course. If you're going through the course, you're creating content, you're having conversations, you will have questions. And there's those that don't even show up. They'll invest with me 5K. I'll see them 1 or 2 times and won't even see them again, whatever, right? But either way, what I recommend is whatever course, whatever program, whatever opportunity you jump into for
Mhm.
learning, learn it, create content on it, and then go teach it. Learn
Yeah.
it, create content, and teach it. And a lot of people are like, "Well, I don't feel comfortable in teaching it because I haven't made no money." Well, use something called the Meet the Guru story. You ever heard that story?
I haven't heard that story, but you also did mention that you had struggled a little bit with kind of the counterfeit and the
Feeling like an
What was
imposter.
what was the other word that we use a lot, where you feel like you're an imposter?
Imposter.
So yeah, I want to hear the story about that, and then talk about how that plays into some of the imposter
Yeah.
syndrome type things.
So that was the same feelings I was feeling like imposter or counterfeit when I first started because I never made all this money when I was telling people they can make money online, but I haven't made none. So my mentor sat me down and he told me the story. It's called Meet the Guru. And the way it kind of breaks down is he went into this coffee shop. He's seen a Maserati sitting out front, walked into this coffee shop, and he's seen this really well dressed old man. You know, he's in his 70s, 80s, and he's just kind of inspired. He's an entrepreneur himself. He wants to learn business. Well, anyways, he overhears the guy on the phone talking about, moving 10 million this way and moving 5 million this way, and set this calendar here. Well, the guy that walked in the coffee shop was super intrigued, and he had this black book sitting next to him, and it was the black book for 40 years of business on when he first started, all the business adventures, all the mistakes, all the lessons, and it was basically how he made $1 billion in his business and up until he was 70. So what happened was that individual started talking to the old man. He got inspired by the kids, conversation. You want to better yourself. You want to make money to help more people. And the old man turned around and said, "You know what? I made my money. I'm on my dying, last days pretty much. I'm 80 years old. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you this book." And so now he gave the power of that authority figure saying, okay, I got a book that made over $1 billion in 40 years from this billionaire business coach, gave me this book, and I have all of all the information on how to make more money online. So if anybody wants an opportunity to jump in to find out the context of this book, I have an offer for $1,000. If you want to jump on a call with me or jump into one of my masterminds or whatever it is to get the information out of this book. No, I have not achieved that success yet. But what you did was you stole the authority of that individual because you told a story based on you met this individual. He's a billionaire. He just gave you his life's work in one big journal. And now you have that. So you basically took his authority and now you're leveraging somebody else's success,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
when I would talk to my audience, like, well, you haven't made no money yet. I said, no, I have not made no money yet, but I have a 7-figure strategy with a 7-figure mentor. Here he is, and here's the strategy. I'm going through it right now. If you want to ride along with me, then we can learn this strategy together. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would love to jump aboard.
Yeah.
So I just took that, the feeling like imposter and counterfeit out of the equation. I told a story on how I benefited from this mentor that just gave me all this valued information on how to be successful online. Now I have that authority. Now they're
Right.
like, okay, now I'm going to listen to you. So that's
Yeah.
how I debunk. I've never made no money. I don't have a large following. None of that. You could take that story and move it any direction. Well, you don't have a large following. How are you going to make any money? Well, here's the situation. My mentor, Brad, only has 15,000 followers as an example, and he's making well over 7 figures in his business monthly, right? So I had that same strategy with a smaller following, and I'm learning that process right now, and I'm teaching you it as we speak.
Yeah.
You want more information? Go ahead and jump on a call with me. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm taking all these limiting beliefs and I'm positioning myself and leveraging somebody else's success.
Yeah. And let's talk too about one of the things I think our listeners need to understand, and this is a concept that you kind of innately understand, but it's easier if you point it out, and that's that value ladder, where you're starting with a little bit smaller product and you upsell them into a little bit bigger product, or even just a different product, and then you learn from that and you have another product you can upscale into, and why that is important for growth. And if you have a smaller audience, 10,000, 15,000, that value ladder is going to play a big role in that, because you're
Huge.
helping those people just continue to grow and better and improve, and of course you're making money along the way too. That value ladder is
Indeed.
is, is valuable.
Super, super important. And we have a value ladder inside PIB because not everybody starts with, tech skills, prior experience, or whatever it may be. And some people start with that. But we want to keep the churn rate low. So I have a 97% stick rate inside of my community. So there's 3% people that fall off within 3 months.
Huh.
Typically, it's like 50% in 3 months for most companies,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And the reason why is because we have that value ladder instilled. We're taking them through this progression of advancement. So they don't just they see where they're at now and they see their desired outcome. And in order to get there, we have to take these action steps. You have to show up to calls. And so my value ladder starts with a dollar challenge. They get into a challenge. They run with me for 5 days straight. If they want to take action, then I'm going to pitch them or offer them $1,000 work with me for the next year community, and also the software comes with it for free. for $1,000. If they don't want to take action on that, then I descend down a little bit, and then I offer them a monthly reoccurring payment of $97, and they'll still get the coaching, the community, and the course. And then it sends up. So once they get past that spot and they're making 5 to 10K in their business with my accelerator course, which is very doable, many people are doing it, then they ascend up like, okay, what's the next steps? Well, now let's teach you how to create your own offer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You already made $10,000. How about that? Would you like to be your own business owner? Would you like to stop riding my coattails and selling my product? How about making something sustainable and long term for yourself? And they're like, yeah, let's do that. So then they send it to my roadmap, which is 5K for a full year, 8 coaching calls a week, a full course teaching you lead magnet funnels, creating your own offers, doesn't matter, offer stacking, whatever you can think of. We're creating an offer for them so that they can have something to call their own. And then from there, once they create their own offer, they have an idea, an understanding, then it sends up to my inner circle, which is 30,000 for the full year. That's more done for you. Then we teach you how to create 5-day challenges, perfect webinars itself, 3-day challenges. What doesn't matter what it is, but we're going to take that offer that you have. We're going to go test it in the market through a beta, like a beta challenge or whatever it is, get all the feedback. And then now we're going to create a business where you can make 20K, 30K, 40K a month, and you collect 100% of the commission. So we start them here. They see their desired outcome, how important it is to achieve these micro commitments and these steps, and having them commit, having them, do homework assignments that's helping them evolve. And by the time they get to the roadmap, they have so many different assets from avatar worksheets and mindset worksheets and all these different things. They feel so much more complete. And my churn rate, like my community, doesn't go nowhere. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, I can
Super
imagine. I
powerful.
mean, as I think about some of the tools that you're giving people, you're giving them the funnels, you're giving them the follow-up emails and text messaging most likely, and
Yes,
all
sir.
those things in a tool that you're giving. But people who are trying to get into this business, and when I say this business, I mean the coaching business, and or just learning how to make money online and not have to work for a 9 to 5 in a cubicle somewhere.
Right.
You know, you're going to have some kind of tool, some kind of funnel builder anyway. Could be ClickFunnels, could be High Level. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones out
Hmm.
there. But what you're offering is you're saying, hey, I will give you the tools for the $97 a month, but I'll give you the coaching to help you turn those tools into way more than they're paying you for the tool that they would have had to pay for anyway. And I think that's
100%.
pretty critical for people to understand. I mean, this is a kind of a system that's been created, and if you're going to pay for a tool, you might as well pay for one that already has things put together along with the mentoring to help you,
It's
really
key.
achieve the success that you want. And like I said, that value ladder, now you've made money using that system, selling yours. Now they're making their own. Then from there they can go up and they can do 5-day challenges. And here's the thing is all the things that they're learning, like what you're saying, they can now go teach and make more money on
Yes.
that and just kind of grow exponentially. I think it's
100%.
pretty
And
remarkable. Yeah,
the
very
information,
remarkable.
selling information is probably one of the most lucrative when it comes to digital marketing, affiliate marketing. You're probably not going to make $1 billion being an affiliate marketer. You might have to get into real estate and, Forex trading or whatever else in the
Sure.
future. But if you want to make, 100K a month, it's not unfathomable,
Hmm.
whatsoever.
Right.
And by utilizing those softwares and those tools. And I just want to give people the best opportunity of success that I could possibly give them rather than nickeling and diming them for this and that and the other. I'm at the level now to where I have my own software, my own funnel building software with everything built up for it. So you could literally have your business up and running in 3 hours, cut and
Yeah.
dry. So
Yeah.
it's just plug and play, get your domain, professional email, implement it inside the system. Let's attach that to the funnel. Let's start creating content. Let's start putting that out there. Get your email sequence done and dialed in. Not even writing it, just putting in your name, putting in your link, and it's already done for you. They're proven to convert. And so people don't have to spend, 6, 7,000. I talked to this lady the other day. She said she jumped in this program for 3 months, never been an online marketer ever in her life. For 3 months, she paid $6,000. Blew my mind. How
Yeah.
are you going to find success in 3 months and have the and feel good about charging somebody $6,000 to achieve no results, right?
Right.
I don't do that. It's either $1,000 for the full year, 3 coaching calls. It comes with a free funnel building software, a course, and coaching calls, all included in one package. And it's okay because I'm still making a lucrative income. People are happy because they're not spending a whole bunch of money to learn this process, and everybody at the end of the day is a win-win.
Yeah, yeah. And then you can always offer, like you said, the inner circle and other packages where you
Yeah,
can monetize that. But, not just for you, but they've got, we need to I want my listeners to understand this can happen for them as well.
it can happen for
They can have
anybody.
their own inner circle where they get paid $30,000 for, more intimate kind of conversation.
Absolutely, you can. You just got to start
Yeah,
somewhere. That's the thing.
yeah,
Get off the fence and start
yeah.
somewhere. I've met with hundreds, maybe thousands of people, right? And they haven't got started because they haven't found that right niche or that right
Hmm.
product. The only thing you need to do is your due diligence and find out if it's proven to convert and if it's proven to get results. If those
Yeah,
two things add up, then it's a good product to start with. Doesn't matter
right.
what it is. You don't have to be, you don't have to love that. You don't have to love that product. It just has to have transformation. You don't have, it's not going to be your end product, like what you're going to do for the rest of your life, your complete passion. Because it's like going to college. You start with, I'm going to major in economics. And then all of a sudden you're, at the end of it, you're majoring in criminal psychology or something like that, right? So your major is going to change as you progress and doors start opening and ideas inspire. And you start meeting people that have another little angle or another little way or another little system or whatever it is. By the time you start as an affiliate marketer or whatever, promoting one simple product, I promise you, if you stay consistent, by the end of that year, you're gonna have so much understanding and confidence and everything that goes along with it
Mhm.
to do whatever you want,
Right, right.
right? You'll have the money to do it if you stay
Yeah.
consistent.
Well, and then you use that money to go buy the real estate so you can become a billionaire.
That's my next
Yeah,
goal. I've actually,
yeah.
who JT Fox is?
No, who's
He's a billionaire business coach. One of the most expensive business coaches are. He charges 25,000 an hour to meet with him.
wow,
We're
wow.
flying out to Tennessee. Sunday we're flying out. Getting there early Monday morning. I'm gonna spend a day with him. I kind of like won this thing, or I don't know. He gravitated towards me. He likes me for whatever reason, and he works with a lot of successful like celebrities. Danny
Mm-hmm.
DeVito, Arnold
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzenegger. The guy that owns Reebok, the CEO, Tommy Hilfiger. He has these interviews. So if any of your listeners out there are listening to this podcast right now or watching this video, go research TJ Fox.
TJ
Um,
Fox.
yeah, he's a billionaire himself, and I'm going to meet with him actually. And that's what I like to do. I like to go into these marketing events. I like to speak on
Yeah.
stages. I like to meet with people that know more than me and
Mm-hmm.
just suck up all the information. Bring my handy recorder with me,
Yep.
and I'm going to bring all that back, descript it. I'm going to put that into another opportunity, another offer. Hey, you
Yep.
want to buy the transcript and dialed in process of JT Fox, right? It's gonna be a lead magnet for me. For anybody that
Yeah.
knows JT Fox, they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
their hands are gonna go up, bring into my
Yep.
offer, and then it's just what it is.
And I love what you're talking about where you're saying, there's different people who you can pull information from to help them
Really.
sell their programs, which also help you sell your programs. The other thing that I think people disregard or don't really fully understand is that everybody knows something. Everybody's an expert in something. I mean, even if you just took a minute and sat back and listened or just thought about, what are some of the things that I am good at or that I've been through that other people haven't been through? People have taken the most simple idea that, there's, I don't know if you know Ulrich Heck. He's
Hmm.
a YouTube guy, right?
Yeah, I've actually met
ClickFunnels.
him at ClickFunnels.
Did you? Yeah, and I
Yeah,
met
yeah, we
him
had we had a
last year.
conversation.
Uh, and he sells YouTube ads knowledge. I mean, that's it.
Good.
He's made millions. You all you have to do is be good at one thing, and then going first full circle, kind of back to what we talk about. It's how you talk to your audience about there, how you find that pain, how you solve that pain, and even just the smallest little talent or skill that you have can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if you know how to sell it the right way.
100%. And so, you're talking about people's skill sets. So on day number 2 of my challenge, it's how to use your existing skill sets to turn it into a six-figure income. And I will go through all the different occupations, blue collar workers, students and teachers, frontline workers, corporate America. And I'll ask my audience in the challenge, what are the skills that corporate America has? And they'll start listing them down. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, what is the desired outcome or what are their goals? They'll start listing them down. Boom, 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 boom. And I'll get to blue collar workers, then I'll get to frontline workers, whatever. And they're like blue collar workers. They know how to organize. They know how to read blueprints. They know how to have conversations and communication. And I'm like, okay, so you're telling me you don't have any skills to be successful online? And people are like, I didn't look at it that way, right? Because we just glorified and we just put a spotlight on what you just told me on what skills you have and how they can now pertain to connecting with your audience and building an online business,
Yeah.
right? And once people look at things a different way, it's how you pre-frame things, right? So the thoughts in the head create the feeling in the heart, which creates the function in the hand. So it's how we think about things and pre-frame things that's going to help build the belief in ourselves. So the thoughts in the head creates the feeling in the heart, which creates the function in the hand.
Yeah.
So if you pre-frame something in a certain way to somebody, they will look at it a different way, and it starts building that belief and that value and all those different things. So I just want to
Yeah.
talk and expand on that because everybody has a skill set.
Right.
If
Right.
you know how to speak English and you have friends or you went to school or you had a job, you had to communicate with them in a certain way. You had to, find friends and have conversations. You had to, ask the girl on the first date, whatever it is. You're a salesperson, right? And that's what it is all about, is just creating conversations and understanding that we have a skill set to help somebody out, and doesn't matter what it is at all.
Yeah. I think at ClickFunnels, either this last year or a couple of years ago, they're talking about a woman who has a following of paid subscribers in the thousands where they just kind of watch her watercolor each week. You
Yeah,
know,
that's it.
you know, it's,
Yep.
that's so cool. So let's just kind of let's wrap things up a little bit. What is the best way for people to get in touch with you, to
Indeed.
dive into your system? I'll obviously be putting links in the description and tagging you so you can,
Appreciate
get
you.
this podcast out. But just talk about how people can find you and start doing business with you.
All right. So you can go to trustpilot.com. And if you put in passive income blueprints in Trustpilot, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews in there. And then you also see a link to the right hand side, and that's to get into my 5-day business builder challenge. Or you can find me on Facebook at Eric Forner. Just type that in. You can even probably Google it and you'll see TikToks come up.
Hmm.
But that's another way you can get a hold of me. I'm passive 10K Eric on TikTok. I'm second income coach on TikTok. Both accounts have over 10,000 followers. But to get to a hold of me as quick as possible, you could probably just go to my Facebook profile, send me a friend request. It's Eric Forner, ERIC, last name Forner, FORNER. It should populate pretty quick. I'm the only one out there. I think there's an older man named Eric Forner. He's like a publicist or something like that,
Hmm.
like 90 years old. But anyways, that's not me. I'm 44,
Yeah, you're
and
definitely
so
not 90.
no, so that would be the quickest ways to find me.
Okay.
And pick my brain. I'm willing to jump on calls with people. I
Yeah.
don't charge any money to get on a call with me. I do pre-qualify before I get on the call with you, so
Yeah.
you might find a call setter first. But if
Yeah.
you fit the the mindset and all that stuff, because I don't if I don't have 100% certainty I could work with somebody and have them have success
Yeah.
by the end of my call, I won't work with them. I don't care if you offer me $50,000. I'm not going to take nobody's money. So I'm
Yeah.
willing to have conversations with people, but find me on Facebook or just click on Rob's link right below this video or wherever it's at, left, right side, I don't know.
Hmm.
Click on it and you can, taking you a couple different offers. I'll give you my 5-day business builder challenge offer link, and also give you my Facebook link. And I think that would be probably the best.
Yeah.
Maybe even a book to call. It's up to you, whatever you want to put up there, my friend.
Yeah, I mean that 5-day challenge is going to be pretty remarkable for $1. I mean, you're talking
Oh,
5 days
fire.
working with you. Is it like an hour each time, or how
Yeah.
long?
So the way it works is my mentor is truly mad at me right now. Since my mentor passed away, I've always had a mentor, mindset coach, whatever it is, but I still have mentors. And my mentor is like, dude, you got to change the price point of that program. And I was like, well, Russell Brunson charges no money. He's like, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter. The dude's worth $1 billion. He said, you have a like what you teach inside this 5-day challenge is more valuable than people charge $5,000 for a course.
right.
And so we're kind of at battle right now. But yeah, in the challenge, it's $1 to get in. You get 5 days of live training with me for general admission. And if you decide to upgrade to VIP, I could charge 97, 197. My last challenges I was running before, it was 47 general admission. Then I went to 97 for VIP. VIP is absolutely free. The only thing you need to do is take 14-day free trial on my software, which is called the GOAT Systems. Take action on that, and then you'll be an additional hour after the general admission. You'll get on a call, like a Zoom call with me personally, all the
Hmm.
students, and you'll get to ask me whatever questions. And I don't gatekeep, or what pertains to that day, it pertains to your business. If you're a beginner, if you're struggling, does not matter. Even if you're having success online right now, you're making $1,000, $2,000 a month. That challenge, I will have certainty that it will help you scale past $1,000, past the 5,000, whatever it is, just by the tools and strategies and the assets I give away. So it's an hour each day for 5 days straight. VIPs for 4 days. And typically, my challenge, general mission, goes from an hour to an hour and a half. Day four is pretty long, so it might take 2 hours. That's the day I pitch on. So heads up to anybody. I don't sugarcoat nothing. And then the VIP will run for about an hour, and I answer everybody's questions. Sometimes it'll go longer, but I won't leave that VIP until everybody's questions are answered.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, a dollar, you're talking a dollar. I mean, to
Yeah.
like
All
really,
right.
yeah. So definitely, yeah, we'll send those links over. I'll have those in the description, and then I'll
Absolutely.
obviously post that on YouTube channels and Facebook groups that are, going to benefit from this advice. I really do appreciate your time and your attitude and the way that you're giving hope to individuals, even who may have been in jail.
No,
They
yeah.
can they can come out of
100%.
that, they can turn around and they can make $1 million in 24 months or more. Obviously, it's up to them and how much work they put into it, and if they're willing to listen and do the
Yeah.
things they're told. But it is possible for anyone, and I love the fact that you're really opening this up for individuals at such a low rate to get them going. And I truly think, as I talk to my listeners here, this is definitely going after. I mean, it's not going to cost a lot of money. $1 for
Yeah,
a five
it's a
day,
buck. A buck for
right?
5 days. You'll
Right.
get a cool, handy workbook as well. I have a workbook for every one of my courses, but you
Hmm.
actually get this handy little workbook. It's the 5 Day Business Builder Challenge workbook. And
Yep.
inside this challenge, there's just assets. There's different hooks and different models and avatar worksheets and just homework assignments. So I promise you, within that 5 days, you'll probably put more work in 5 days than you have in your entire business that you started it. Now, if
Yeah.
you're already making 100K a month, it might be a different story, but if you have never got your business off the ground in these
Yep.
5 days, on day number five, you're going to have a business 90% built. So my whole goal is day one, have nothing. And by day
Hmm.
five, you're going to have funnels, automation, your affiliate link, your domain, professional email. It's going to be all inside the system and you're going to be ready to plug and play.
Yeah. It's absolutely extraordinary. I'm so glad that you took the time to meet with me today. And I will
100%.
get this out to the community as quickly as I can. I think the message is great. So appreciate your time, Eric. Thank you so much. I'm sure I will be pinging you to have you back.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously, there's some things that I'd like to talk to you about because of the systems I'm using, and we're using some of the same kind of funnel systems, which are really super awesome, amazing systems. So
Yeah.
I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. But obviously, would like to have you back on the show maybe in a year, 6 months or
Anytime.
something, and just kind of see how things are going, what's moving. So I appreciate your time. Thank you again for taking the time to meet with me.
Thank you, Rob, for having me.